go. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Masters Fantasy Show, brought to you by MastersFantasyFootballLeagues.com. As always, I got the Masters crew with me, ready to talk some Dynasty football. What's up, guys? How you doing today?
Fantastic.
Ready to talk football.
Yep, good to hear that, man. Beautiful day to be alive, as always. If you're at home watching, if you could hit the like and subscribe button, come be a part of the Masters family. Over 600 Dynasty Leagues, running redraft leagues every single night all the way till kickoff. Today, we're going to be continuing the player spotlight. Dynasty Trade Player Spotlight. This episode's going to be on Justin Jefferson. We got another young elite wide receiver we're doing. These are 5 recent Dynasty trades that have come in over the last 10 days. Going to be passing those along, taking a look at them, telling you what we think about them. With that said, let's jump right into this, guys. First trade popping up on the screen. We got your boy Doc, Will Fuller, Justin Jefferson, a 3.1 and a 2. For DJ Shark, George Kittle, the 3.10 and a future 1. Your guys' thoughts?
Well, see, I feel like this is a great opportunity to get Kittle, even though I wouldn't want to give Justin Jefferson for this price. I'll just start by saying I want the Justin Jefferson side. But I will say George Kittle, if he can stay healthy, is going to have that value that Kelsey has right now where he's like far and above every other tight end besides Kelsey, Waller, and, possibly a guy like a Pitts, who we've kind of pegged to be in that role soon. I mean, it's going to be a big difference maker in your leagues, but again, that's a big if because he's struggled to stay healthy. So, I like the idea, but yeah, for me, I'm going to take Justin Jefferson. It's just a little bit safer.
Yeah, I agree in terms of dynasty value. Justin Jefferson, to me, obviously the most valuable piece in the trade, and I think worth every bit of it. But yeah, short term, you get a guy like Kittle who – difference maker in the tight end slot. You get a future first as well that you could try and, get a quality player this year for it and kind of, really put yourself in contention mode. But yeah, Justin Jefferson's the most valuable guy in the deal. So.
Yeah, I'm with you, man. Justin Jefferson is just too young, too valuable. I think you nailed it, though. I mean, the one thing's going to be Kittle's health, man. If Kittle
if he were like Kelsey and he was playing 16 games a year and you knew he was going to be on the field every day, then it's a little different.
Right, getting that huge advantage at tight end.
Right.
And that's something I actually want to do a show on it maybe next week. I think we talked about it for a little bit. And I think you can add Kittle into that. And my thinking's been, in all these redraft leagues we're doing, I like Kelsey at the 7 spot after the first 6 running backs are gone. Or I kind of like either Tyreek Hill at 7 or some guys go Kelsey right there.
Right.
And then my thinking's been if Kelsey's worth the 1.7 or the 1.8, I think Waller should be the 1.9 pick then. Immediately because, you're drafting the tight end for the huge positional advantage.
Right. Yeah.
And I feel like even just rewinding it back 5 years or whatever it was when it was Gronk and Jimmy Graham, they were both going the first.
I almost feel like that's where we should be at. Because my point is, so if you draft Waller or Kittle at the 9 and the 10, you still have that advantage over every other owner except the Kelsey owner.
Yeah.
Right.
Which would only matter come championship week or if you guys met in the playoffs.
Yeah,
Other than that,
exactly.
you still have this distinct advantage.
Right.
I just think we should see him more in the first round.
Yeah.
I get it, though, because guys wait and then usually get him at 2.3.
Right.
All right, next trade popping up here. We got Christian McCaffrey for Justin Jefferson, 3.2 to 3.7 and a future 1. Your guys' thoughts?
It sounds crazy, but I feel like this is kind of easy Justin Jefferson side for me. McCaffrey's only going to get older. He's got a ton of mileage on him. And even when he did play last year, you kind of saw him dial back his touches a little bit from what we've seen in the past. So, I think more of the same on the McCaffrey aspect of it. I think he's going to be a guy that's still good and still one of the better running backs in fantasy football, but not a guy that, you give worlds just to get him. I think that's we've kind of passed that point in his fantasy career. So I'm going to take Jefferson. As crazy as it seems now, crazy to think a couple of years ago you wouldn't give him for anything.
Yeah.
But
yeah, so I kind of agree, especially if you threw it into a dynasty trade calculator. I think the Jefferson in the future first would have more value, especially if you fast forward it 3 years when McCaffrey's 28, 29 years old. You're going to wish you would have had the other side. But, if you're trying to win the next few years, I still think you can make the case for the next at least 2 years McCaffrey easily RB1, in that same discussion as he was just 2 years ago. Obviously, last year, the injuries. But, yeah, Justin Jefferson, so much long-term value.
Yeah,
What
I
do you-
think.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
I had a completely tangent question, so go ahead,
Go
JK.
ahead. Oh, no,
I was
actually
just
had a
gonna
question,
say,
too.
yeah, go ahead.
All right, I was just going to ask because we'll take the one out of it.
Yeah.
Like, you're on a clock in a fresh Dynasty League 1.1.
So
are you guys both taking McCaffrey?
I'm still going McCaffrey. And it's more so because
Oh, you're not going to take Jonathan Taylor?
it's close.
That's your boy.
Yeah.
I know.
You're not
Yeah.
going to take him?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I feel like, I don't know. He's one of those guys that, like, you can't pass on, right?
Almost.
Because you think, as long as I have McCaffrey, these next 3 years, I easily should be.
But that kind of feeds into my question because realistically, do you think he's playing at 29? Do you think he's still on the Panthers? Do you, like, make a projection? How old
So,
is he right now? Like
he's
26, 25, 26?
25, 26, somewhere in there, 25 and a half.
Like, do you think he still has a lot of
So-
value in 3 years? Because as
Sort of.
amazing as he is
Yeah.
and amazing as he has been, I don't.
So, agree in a way. I think in 3 years he will no longer be on the Panthers. He will no longer be a top end RB1. But I think he'll be around. I see him going
like
New
a
England-
glorified
yeah,
Danny Woodhead.
Exactly. But in the right situation though, that's nice.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah.
I was gonna say like a glorified James White.
Yeah,
Right,
I feel like he's just going to be used a lot more for his receiving skills.
Mark
at that
my
point.
words, when McCaffrey is 31 years old, he'll be catching passes from Mac Jones in New England. It'll be the playoffs.
There you go. All right. Which is
Mark
just
it down,
crazy
yeah.
though, because everybody's taking McCaffrey over him in a fresh startup
Yeah.
draft.
Yeah.
But honestly, like in 3 years, Justin
it's gonna
Jefferson's
flip,
like
right.
25.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's just like, we talk about it all the time, but the most important year is still
Still
you're
this
trying to
year.
win every year still.
Right.
So
That's right.
even though same with Dalvin Cook, like Dalvin Cook's not going to be around for more than at a super high level more than just a few years, but you're still taking Dalvin Cook that early because for the next couple years he can be a league winner.
And hey, man, if you win this year,
You pay your deposit.
you're
for the
paid
next-
for
Yeah.
Yeah.
makes a big difference.
Yep.
All right, next trade popping up. We got Jalen Reagor and 2 1s for Jefferson. Your thoughts?
So I'll go Jefferson here.
Yeah. I'll say the same, and
Yeah.
if those picks were like locked in at like
Right.
maybe 1.2 and 1.5, something like that,
Yeah.
then it's a little different. I'd still maybe take Jefferson, but right now, with the fact that both those picks could end up being like almost worthless a year from now, that's too much of a risk for me. I'm gonna keep Jefferson.
Yeah, I also think though if you kind of got a crappy roster,
Yeah.
but you're sitting on Justin Jefferson, I think it's a good move to make. Because I mean,
it does hurt though that you gave one of the guys who has the first round pick. He's giving you just gave him Justin Jefferson.
I can see
so
that, but I
hurts.
think if we were sitting here a year ago today having this conversation, I don't know for sure.
there you go.
I think 2 of us would have said Reagor was going to have a better season
Right.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Yeah.
just
Possibly,
a year
yeah.
ago. So
It is crazy. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
a
it's
lot
a
of things have changed since
right.
And
I
if
mean,
you just look at their draft position in most rookie drafts, you're getting 2 future firsts for guys
Plus
who are getting
Reagor.
drafted right at the same time.
yeah,
But,
crazy.
That is crazy.
Yeah.
And then and we're all taking the Jefferson side
Yeah.
this year.
Yeah.
Crazy. All right, next trade popping up here. We got Devontae Adams, Henry Ruggs, and a 1 for Justin Jefferson. And that's about it.
Yeah.
No love for Jericho.
Well, not in Dynasty,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Man, I actually really want to take the Devontae Adams
I
side.
know.
So
That's
do it.
tempting. I will.
Okay.
I will.
Okay.
I think Adams. He's still the guy. He's not as old as people probably think he is, which is a little. It's a nice little plus
Is he
too. Plus a
29?
first round pick.
Yeah, I
I know,
thought
it
it was
just
like
feels like-
28, 29.
I just feel like Devontae Adams. It feels like he's been in the league forever. And Ruggs. I'm probably a little bigger on than most people. I mean, I think this year he takes a big step. I know most people probably won't agree with that, but I think the talent's there, and I think he's more than just the speed guy. So I'll take that side of the trade. It seems to me a little superior.
Yeah, and actually, you highlighting Ruggs, I just want to say, depending on when these videos get posted, but we're starting a new series, the Sophomore Spotlight series. Ruggs is going to be one of the first shows we do, so keep
Yes.
your eye out on that. We're going to highlight some of these year 2 players. Ruggs had a disappointing year 1, but yeah, the doc's still pretty bullish on year 2.
Yeah, that's why I just gave
Yeah.
you a little taste.
Yeah,
You're going to have
so-
to watch the
There you go.
episode to get
So
my
check
full
that
take.
out.
I'll definitely be watching it.
Oh,
for
yeah.
sure.
I'm going to take the Justin Jefferson side. I've been on record, and it would have bit me hard last year saying, kind of sell high on Devontae Adams. Then he went out and had a career year. But I think now's the time. Sell high on Devontae Adams. The injuries have been mounting up. Aaron Rodgers, probably not. I don't know that the more time that goes on, the more likely I think
I
Aaron
don't know
Rodgers
anymore.
Yeah. I don't know.
Jared Cook kind of put that side over the top. I get it. Yeah.
And I'm just thinking, and I get it, this is Dynasty, just 2 thoughts from redraft on that. Devontae Adams, I mean, starting to slip like into the second round, 3rd, 4th wide receiver off the board. If Aaron Rodgers does say, man, there's going to be a lot of happy Devontae Adams owners.
Oh, yeah. It's
Right.
kind of like, what was that year where Zeke was like, he was maybe going to get suspended and they didn't know. And I remember I took him in like the 3rd round. I was so happy.
Yeah, and I'm actually with you, Doc, on Ruggs. And I'm thinking even in redraft leagues, 'cause I've done like 4. And it's a guy that I've just been picking up like in round 14.
Yeah. I mean, they can't just keep peppering Waller and nobody else.
That's
I
what
know
I think,
they
too.
added John Brown.
Edwards.
They have Brian Edwards, who I like as well.
No, I like Ruggs too.
But I don't know, man. I think Ruggs takes a step forward. I think they try to use him more this year.
I just think he's a guy worth taking a flyer on, even in a redraft league.
Definitely.
That
The
speed,
talent's through the
man.
roof.
Yeah. And then I also feel like the organization, like there's got to be some pressure to get this guy the ball this year.
Yeah.
Because if he comes out and doesn't produce this year, I mean, it's pretty much over.
Yeah,
That was part of my argument for him last year. I was like, well, they took him so high. I mean, he'd be an idiot not to use him. And they
but I also think you can kind of get away like in the rookie year, like learning curve, etc.
Right.
Darren Waller outperform. I just think right now it's, put up or shut up, or it's a bad pick.
Right.
I mean, there's nothing else to talk about.
Yeah.
Then the final trade, I actually didn't realize, kind of similar to the first trade here.
No
I think,
picks, though.
I think you guys took him Jefferson without the picks. I don't know.
I can't
Either way.
remember.
DeAndre Hopkins straight up for Justin Jefferson. Your guys' thoughts?
Justin Jefferson.
Yeah.
You got to go Jefferson here, man. I think even if you're, just playing to win right now, I don't think I make that trade.
The difference is so negligible for right now. You almost have to make it for Jefferson.
I mean, having said that, though, I have heard both you guys. I think it was you that said Jefferson may have hit his ceiling already.
Yeah, right.
You were saying that quite a bit for a while.
Yeah, and I love Jefferson, and I thought he was really polished coming out. But
it's possible.
He might never have a season as good as his rookie season in terms of fantasy numbers. It's possible. Yeah.
I mean, one thing we can count on is, DeAndre Hopkins probably for the next 3 years.
Yeah.
Is going to put up great numbers with Kyler Murray.
Yeah.
If you don't believe in him at all, I would have wanted like a pick or something to go with that.
There's a very real possibility that a year from now, Justin Jefferson's getting thrown to by Kellen Mond, who's, he could end up being good, but at the present time would be a downgrade from Kirk Cousins. And he could have nobody on the other side of him. Thielen could be gone too. So there's a real possibility he's without Cousins and Thielen, and I feel like that would crush his value a little bit.
Yeah.
So at the same time, as I like him in these trades, you almost have to like him after what he did last year. But I could see a scenario where a year from now, all these trades look awful.
Yeah, for sure. I just know I want to see some more gritty dances next year.
Exactly.
And
Kirk Cousins.
That'd be fun. All right, guys, that's going to wrap up this edition. Thanks so much for watching. If you could, hit the like and subscribe button. Come be part of the Masters family. Love to have you. Any last words?
Thanks for listening.
No, thank you.